Hi, fifth grade. This is lesson 11 of Unit 1. I'm on page 25 of our SAB. And we're going to be starting to talk about estimating. This is a word that you learned in fourth grade, and we know in fourth grade it meant rounding. Anytime you saw a problem that asked you to estimate, you knew you needed to have an answer that ended in at least one zero. We can see the word round is here as well to remind us. When we're in fractions, we're still going to be using the word round, but we're going to be talking about rounding to the nearest whole number or to the nearest half. So in these questions, here are the benchmarks. Benchmarks mean here are the answers that we could get when we're rounding. So we could say that something's closer to 0. We could say it's closer to 1/2, or we could say it's closer to 1. So kind of like when you're rounding, maybe if you're rounding to the tens, your benchmarks are 10, 20, 30, 40. Or if you're rounding to hundreds, 200, 300, 400, 500, that kind of thing. Well, now we're looking at 0, 1/2, or 1. Okay, so use these benchmarks, 0, 1/2, or 1, to estimate the sum or the difference. So we have 1/4 plus 7/8. So we have to think about what is going to be our estimate here. What are we going to round each of these to? Okay, I'm so glad there's a number line here because this is really going to help me. I know that 1/4 is right between 0 and 1/2. Anytime there's something right in the middle, I remember from fourth grade rounding that if it's in the middle, like if it's a 5, you round up. 5 or more, let it soar. So I'm going to round my 1/4 to 1/2 because I know those are my three choices, 0, 1/2, or 1. Now 7/8. 7/8 seems like it's really close to 1 whole. And I can tell that by dividing my number line into eighths here, and I would know that 7/8 is going to go there. Oh, 7/8 is really close to 1. So I'm going to round 7/8 to 1. So 1/2 plus 1 equals 1 and 1/2. That's my estimate. That's my estimate. But of course, I have to find the exact answer as well here. And this is where some scrap paper will be handy because you're going to be thinking about how to set this problem up so that you have common denominators, okay? So we're going to find the exact right answer. So I've got 1/4 plus 7/8. Remember that I set it up like this. I say multiplied by something equals something, and I'm looking for my common denominators there. So looking at 1/4 and 7/8, do I need to change one of the fractions or both of the fractions? Oh, I only have to change one of them, correct? Because 8's going to be okay. So I need to change 4 to 8. So I'll put my new common denominators in there. I'll realize that 7/8 is just going to move over. It's just, if you really want to be picky about it, you can stick the 1 over 1 there, but it's going to stay the same. Now let's see about changing 4 to 8. 4 times 2 equals 8, and 1 times 2 equals 2. So my magic one was 2 over 2. 2 plus 7. 2 plus 7 equals 9. What's wrong with my answer there? It's an improper fraction. I have to simplify it. I have to fix the problem. So 9 goes inside the bracket, 8 goes outside the division bracket. And that's already been explained quite a few times, so that's why I went so fast, but you can always email me if you're confused about part of this. 1 and 1/8. So that is my exact answer. Now the idea is, just like in previous things where we've used estimation to check if something's reasonable, we're looking, is 1 and 1/8 close to 1 and 1/2? It actually is pretty close. So I would say that we're okay there. That's a reasonable answer. Now, they get a little bit trickier down here because we're no longer using just the benchmarks of 0, 1, or 2, or sorry, 0, 1/2, or 1. Now we've got mixed numbers in play. But we can still do that. It's not that tricky. So our estimate here, 5 and 2/3. 2/3 is around 1/2. You could go up to 6, but I would say 5 and 1/2. Notice that it's not really picky. You could think about 5 1/2, or you could think about 6. It's kind of in the middle. I'm going to go with 1/2 minus 3 1/6. Now 1/6 is not a very large fraction, so I'm going to round this down to 3. 1/6 is quite a bit less than half, which would be 3/6. So 5 1/2 minus 3 is going to be 2 1/2, right? Because 5 minus 3 is 2. Sorry about this sloppy setup there. 2 1/2 is my answer there. Now I have to find the actual difference. So in all of these, we're using estimate as a tool, but we have to also find the real answer, and then we can compare and see if our answer makes sense. So 5 2/3 minus 3 1/6. Let's set this up very carefully. And one more time, I'm going to ask you the question, do I have to change one of these fractions or both of them? Yay, I only have to change one again. That's nice. So I'm going 6 to 6, so that is going to stay exactly the same. Notice that I quickly pull my whole number over so that I don't get mixed up. Now I'm trying to change 3 to a 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 times 2 equals 4. Whole number comes over without changing. 5 4/6 minus 3 1/6. So 4 minus 1 equals 3. 5 minus 3 equals 2. And hopefully you saw right away that we need to simplify 3/6. So 2 3/6 reduces down to 2 1/2. So my answer is 2 1/2. Look at that. Sometimes the real answer is the same as the estimate. Okay, so remember in 4th grade when your estimate had to end in a 0, right? It had to be like 10, 20, or 3,000, or 600, something like that. When we're in 5th grade and we're looking at fractions and mixed numbers, your estimate has to either be a whole number or have just half in it. Hopefully that makes sense. So thinking about your benchmarks, your estimate could be 1. It could be 1 1/2. It could be 2. It could be 2 1/2. It could be 3. It could be 3 1/2. It could be 4. You get the idea. So those are your possibilities. If the problem asks you to estimate or to say about how much, remember that keyword, if you said 2 7/8, you'd get it wrong because that's not an estimate. Estimate has to be either a whole number or ending in 1/2. Okay. So on the back here, on the other side, you've got a puzzled penguin situation. It looks like he made a mistake somewhere in there. See if you can find it, and then write him a response. So remember, again, our responses are always in good, friendly letter form there. Dear puzzled penguin, comma, indent, all that lovely stuff. And if you have any trouble with that, email me, but I think this one you'll be able to figure out on your own. Last but not least, is the answer reasonable? Yes or no? You have to figure this out by estimating. So 9/10 is very close to 1, so I will round 9/10 to 1, minus 2/5 is really close to 1/2 because 2/4 is 1/2, 2 1/2 would be 1/2, so it's really close to 1/2. So I'm going to say 1/2 there. Notice I rounded both of those fractions and came up with fractions that were either 1 or 1/2. You get the idea. 1 minus 1/2 equals 1/2. Ooh, what answer did they get? They got 1 3/10. Yeah, that does not make sense. This would be unreasonable. And when I have to explain my work, I would say it's unreasonable because I rounded 9/10 to 1, 2/5 to 1/2, and when I subtracted, I got 1/2, which is very much less than 1 3/10. Okay, good luck on your online assignment. Let me know if you have any questions.